Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I just got back inside from the garden again and I got some new roses with me for you to see. You have Duftwolke here, also known as Fragrant Cloud, I believe. And then you have Aloha, and this is the old Aloha from the 1940s that's bred by Bonner, I believe. And then you have Jacqueline Du Pré from Harkness Roses. And this rose I'm actually a bit unsure about. It was sold to me as a violet parfumé, but I don't believe it is violet parfumé because it's a bit lighter. I also know it's not airtight. I have one of those in the garden. And Minerva is right here besides it. So whatever this is, I'm not completely sure. And then you have Boscobel over here, the David Austin rose, and on the back side of Boscobel you have Silas Marner, two for the price of one, really. But yeah, let's get started. And I think we'll start with this beauty right here. As you can probably see, this is a beautiful one known as Duftwolke, Fragrant Cloud. And let's just have a whiff of it. Yeah, right now it's fragrant for me to about an 8, I would say, but it has been outside in the sun all day, so I won't rule out that this rose is going to get more fragrant. It's a little bit damask, I would say, and the fragrance mixed with a little bit of fruit, but a very pleasant rose scent. And I also like how huge the bloom is on this, and the color of it is this more very distinctive, nearly pale red, orange red, I would say. Um, really beautiful, and I don't see a lot of pictures of this online, at least not good pictures. So I'll try to get some good pictures of this one for you because when I was buying this rose, I really didn't know what I was buying because the colors were all over the place and you couldn't see the colors quite truly. Like on some sides, on some videos, it was completely orange red, and on the other video, it will be like this very faded, nearly more, I'd say, nearly faded burgundy or something like that. But I'll try to get some high quality pictures of this one. For me, so far, it has done quite decently well, to be honest. A lot of people are complaining about frost hardiness on it. I haven't experienced too much of an issue as of late, but also the winters have been quite mild for me the last year or two. Uh, so, but yeah, I think so far it's a really impressive red rose with the size of the bloom for me, and also the fragrance. And then you have Aloha here. And one thing I really like about Aloha is it gets much more red in the center, and then it has this pink around the outer edges. And honestly, I didn't know I would like Aloha this much on look alone because I was kind of expecting just another pink rose, but honestly, I really like that color change where you have the red center and you have the pink outer petals. It honestly surprised me very positively on the beauty of it. And what about the fragrance? Oh yeah, the fragrance I'm getting a bit of apple. I'm getting a bit of black pepper. Yeah, it is definitely apple and black pepper for me. It is not the strongest fragrance for me. Right now, I would say it's about a 6 out of 10. But this is a young rose that has been baking in the sun all day. And I also think the apple fragrance on it is quite interesting, to be honest. And I really like the color change with the center of it. So far, it's been quite healthy, to be honest. And then you have Harkness Rose, and this is the Jacqueline Du Pré that's named after the classical musician. What was it? Was it the cello or was it the violin? I think it was the violin, the Jacqueline Du Pré. Um, Honestly, it's a beautiful, more singular petal rose, and Honestly, it looks so unique. Like I often talk about roses having this je ne sais quoi, this certain something, this storytelling effect. And I don't know if you can see this, but the petals inside here is nearly star-shaped, like some of the most beautiful. Uh, yeah, it's honestly very beautiful rose and storytelling. What I will say about it, though, is it is not a quick roast to establish. I've had mine for nearly, I think, like close to 3 years now, and it has been very slow for me to establish and get to a bigger roast. But it's finally starting to get there. I have great hopes for Jacqueline Du Pré, but it's not a rose you plant in the ground and 2 years after it starts looking amazing for you and you get these big flowers. It takes a bit of time and patience with it. Let's just check the fragrance. Yeah, I'm getting a 5 on fragrance, a bit of fruitness on it, a bit of damask as well. Was it mostly? I would say mostly fruitiness. And then we have what was sold to me as Violet Parfumé, and it honestly annoys me so much. I can't tell you what this rose is completely. It was bought in a supermarket, and I paid nearly nothing for it. And it was these, where they come wrapped in these plastic bags. And I know some of the roses I bought that day were Friar roses, and those were named accurately, but this one was not. And as told you before, I know it's not Minerva, I know it's not Eptide because I have those in the garden as well. And the reason it annoys me so much is this is really fragrant compared to Minerva and compared to Eptide. It is a 7.5 on fragrance. A really beautiful damask fragrance on this one. And honestly, it annoys me so much I can't tell you the real name of this because it was sold to me as well, Parfumé with 2 E's, but I think whatever company that did this rose got it wrong because when I look up Violet Parfumé, it's much more closer in color to like a pink color. And so I'm a bit confused, to be honest. But it's also a healthy and really floriferous rose, and that's why it annoys me so much. I can't bring you the name of it, because it is, in my opinion, better than Minerva and Eptide. But it annoys me so much I can't give you the name of it. And here you have Minerva, of course. Yeah, not a lot of fragrance on Minerva. One good thing I will mention about Minerva is it tends to bloom a bit early, but honestly, Minerva has been one of those roses that has just in Danish we would say it has fallen between two chairs. Like it's decently healthy, it has a decently beautiful bloom, it has a decently everything. There's just not enough fragrance. There's just not enough of everything. Like there's other varieties that really beat it, and that is my main problem with Minerva. Like, there's so many good varieties with that color, and some of them are doing much better. So it's not a bad rose when compared to all roses, but on the whole, it is pretty average. But yet, you see a lot of people recommending both Minerva and Eptide. I really wouldn't do that. Like, in my opinion, if you're going for these more violet colors. It'll probably be no surprise. I will tell you to go for blackberry nip. I will tell you to go for Goethe. Hell, I will even tell you to go for something like the rose I just reviewed, the Terry Max rose. Honestly, that one is amazing with that raspberry fragrance. And it is not that far off. So, yeah, I like this one much better than I like Mina Van Price, but to each their own. You also have Silas Marner here, and both Silas Marner and Boscobel can get a bit bigger blooms. These are like medium-sized blooms. Um, I had bigger blooms of Boscobel outside, but because I get visitors tomorrow, I didn't want to cut the big blooms because I also wanted them to have something to look at when they come visit the garden. So that was a trade-off for me, but I really love Boscobel. A lot of people will tell you it is unhealthy. In my opinion, it is not unhealthy, but it is a medium rose in health. It is not the most amazing health. It is not the worst health. It is honestly good enough on health. But what really makes Boscobel exceptional is this coral color it nearly gets. Like it starts out much more, how to say, much more coral colored, much more sunset colored, and then it kind of fades out to this more pink color, while the middle center still has that beautiful coral color. And what really sells this rose for me is the fragrance. The fragrance on Boscobel is simply amazing, despite the color change, despite everything else. There's a reason this is one of my most favorite English roses, despite not having Olivia Austin health or Princess Anne health or even Silas Marner health. And that is simply the fragrance on this is unlike no other fragrance. It has a really beautiful, unique fragrance, just like Cherry Max I showed you. Raspberry fragrance, while this one is much more tropical fragrant. But let's have a whiff of it. Oh yeah, I get that tropical fragrance. I get a little bit of licorice at the back end. Oh yeah. Honestly, don't let people scare you out of trying to grow Boscobel. It is a beautiful rose, a good rose. You will sometimes get a little bit of black spot on it, on the lower leaves of it, but usually the top of the plant gets very full and can like hide it well. And as long as your climate does not go below 22°C or 20°C or something like that, you'll be quite fine, to be honest. Mine outside, I have three of them, and all three of them have survived winter down to 22 Celsius. So minus 22, of course. And honestly, it's a good rose for me. And then you have Silas Marner. Now, Silas Marner is extremely healthy. It is, I would nearly be tempted to say it is as healthy as Princess Anne. Princess Anne and Eustacia Y, I would probably put close in a similar health category. And honestly, they're not that far behind Olivia Austin. So amazing roses for health. And what's special about Silas Marner is it's not that deeply cupped, so it tends to stand up to rain quite well. And honestly, it's an amazing, healthy rose for that more cottage look. The only downside I'll mention with Silas Marner is sometimes the bloom size. It doesn't get as impressive blooms as some of the other Austins, where you know they can kind of like get that big. Silas Marner is not like that. It is at best a medium flower, but still a really good rose to grow. And I like Silas Marner, but let's have a whiff of it here. Yeah, it is not giving me that much fragrance for me today. It has also been baking in the sun, but usually it is between 7.5 and an 8. That said, you can do better on fragrance. You can go for something like what is it called? Mom in a Million, the Danish rose. You also have Princess Charlene de Monaco, and you have Chandler's Beauty, and you have a lot of other roses that will beat it on fragrance. That said, it is a wonderful, healthy, and carefree rose, and I really like that one for that aspect of it. But really, out of these two, my favorite is still Boscobel. Boscobel is an amazing rose for me, and I really like Boscobel. Despite it having a bit of leaf issues, sometimes I'm willing to forgive it because honestly, what are you going to replace the scent on Boscobel with? You have something like Tropicana from Tantau, but that's not really vigorous, and it is not really the most healthy plant either. And in my opinion, it is even worse health than Boscobel. And so it's really down to these two as of late, if you want that scent. And that's why it's extremely hard to avoid growing Boscobel because I don't know anything that has the scent Boscobel has. But if I find a more healthy variety that gives you the same scent as Boscobel, I will, of course, let you know. But for me, it is a wonderful cold pink rose to be growing. And yeah, honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised by a fragrant cloud. I'm hoping it does well for me. And but a lot of people will say it is the second coming on Christ when it comes to scent. And even though I think Fragrant Cloud has a nice scent, I still think something like Mom in a Million, Princess Celine de Monaco, and even Princess Alexandra, and a lot of the other, both from Renaissance series and a lot of the other ones, and also Goethe and Blackberry Nib. There's a lot of roses that, in my opinion, is just as strongly fragrant, if not more fragrant. That said, it has an incredible, unique look with this color it has. And I think the blooms are beautifully large on it. So I'm kind of torn. Like it did better on beauty and bloom and health than I thought it would. And it did a little bit worse on fragrance than I thought it would. But honestly, it is shaping up to be a very good rose for me. So we'll try and let it stay in the garden and see. And I also have a bit of an update on Café Facette. Now, Café Facette is so old now that it is nearly starting to go bad. And finally, there's a little bit of scent on it, but honestly, I don't like the scent at all. It has it has a little bit of old rose fragrance now, but it is like a 5 out of 10. Before I had like 4 out of 10 with the tea fragrance, but now there's a little bit of old rose fragrance, like a 5 out of 10. But it gets muddled up with the tea fragrance, and it gets muddled up with these leaves that are slowly more decaying. So honestly, even under the best circumstances, I'm not getting that much out of Café Facette, even when it's close to going over and the blooms are the flower head is completely uncovered. It is still not giving me the fragrance promised by Tantau, and I have like 5 or 6 bud in the rows outside, and honestly, nothing of it is like that fragrant to me. Like with something like Terry Mars, I could scent the rose at fragrance even in the bud stage, and with a lot of these other roses, even when the rose was still budding, like when the buds have found color, I will get a mild scent, not as powerful as but even the Caf Facette, I'm not getting that much scent at all. So yeah, really impressed by Terry Marks, really disappointed in Café Facette. And I think that kind of sums up the video. Sometimes the roses that will do best for you is hard to know because reviews online go in so many different directions that sometimes when you get the rose growing in your own garden is something completely different. And maybe it is because not a lot of people have the opportunity like I have of growing 400 roses next to each other, and those 400 roses being the fragrant roses. But I will say that listening to rose reviews for me when I'm buying roses, only 10% of the time I'm happy with the roses I end up buying because to be honest, there is so much bad rose advice out there. I'd say even though Duftwolke is not a bad rose, it's when you're listening to a lot of reviews, they say it is extremely fragrant. And I would say maybe if people haven't scented a lot of fragrant roses, they would say it is extremely fragrant, but for me, this is about an 8 out of 10. It is a little bit milder than I even think Boscobel over here is beating it. Oh yeah, Boscobel is definitely getting very close to beating it. Silas Marner is not. And then you have, what's it called, Terramax. Yeah, Terramax is actually quite potent. So yeah, this is like, for me right now, as I'm setting it, is between 7.5 and an 8 for me. But really, guys, that was it for today, and hope you enjoyed some of the roses. And I'll be sure to give you some pictures of these roses up close now, so you can see them for yourself. And now, especially this one was very hard for me to really see the color of. And I also think the Aloha was not really shown that well on a lot of photographs because I didn't notice the reddish center on it. But yeah. I'll give you some photographs and then I'll end the video for today.